What's up, girls? In this video, I am going to break down all about muscle growth. So if you're someone, you're not focused on weight loss, your main goal is to build muscle. Whether it's a specific area in your body that you want to grow, or if it's all around. Maybe you're someone who wants to put on real size, or maybe you're just someone who wants to put a little bit of muscle, shape up the body, maybe get a little certain areas bigger than others. Then watch this video, all right? I'm going to break everything down when it comes to the training, to the kind of diet, the repetitions that you should be doing, your supplements and all that stuff, all right? So the first point that I want to break down is the kind of training that you should be doing. And to keep it very simple, it's called progressive overload. Now, before I get into it, there are many different things that I'm going to bring up when it comes to the training that we should kind of be rotating through. But just to have an overall idea of the most important thing in order to support muscle growth is progressive overload. And I mean progressive overload is that now when we exercise, say I'm doing the exercise right now, yeah? I could be lifting something light, I'm working out, the muscle doesn't have much load on it. So there's not stress on the muscle. The heavier you lift, oh my God, the muscle gets damaged, right? That's what we want. We want the muscle to be torn apart, basically. It sounds crazy. You're like, damaged muscle? I don't want damaged muscle. But when we damage the muscle, when we tear the muscle fiber apart, the muscle starts to freak out. And it's like, oh my God, we were under a lot of load, a lot of stress. So when you're going to bed at night, your muscle starts to repair and it gets stronger and it gets bigger in order to prepare itself for the next time that you stress it again. So that's what the body does in order to adapt to the stress. Now, that's another point. The body will eventually adapt. So that 10 kilo that you used to lift, eventually the muscle is going to be like, this is easy. So what do we got to do? We got to start increasing the weight. Now, the body doesn't necessarily know exactly how much that's being lifted. It's like, hey, man, you've been lifting 10 kilo for like 2 months now. Come on. It knows the amount of stress that's on the muscle. So we want to be able to really create that tension and really train in specific ways to be able to create as much damage as we can to that muscle fiber. And there's different ways that we can do that that will support muscle growth. Because you can also tear the muscle away, but not supporting muscle growth. And I'm going to get into that right now, okay? So now whenever we train very heavy for long periods of time, eventually our body's going to get tired, yeah? So we cannot always train heavy every single workout. It's going to be heavy on our joints, which eventually, if we're not going to be supporting our joints, then one day we're going to be like, I cannot lift heavy anymore, khalas, okay? So we need to be able to have our recovery days, but we still want to keep those muscles activated. So what do? You could say, you know what, 2 weeks, I'm going to try to go as heavy as I can. Every set. So say for an example, you're doing a squat. You start with 5 kilo. Then the next set, you do 7 kilo. Then the third set, you do 10 kilo. So progressively, you're overloading the muscle. Not all at once and sticking to that weight, but you're slowly trying to increase that weight every single set. And every time that you come in and you work out, you try to beat that weight that you last did. So if you're doing a home workout program, you got to keep in mind, okay, if I want to focus on growing muscle, I need to be able to start buying more weights that are heavier so I can create that damage that I want in order for the muscles to grow, okay? So what do? We say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to do 2 weeks of heavy training, and then 1 week I'm going to do lighter reps, lighter weight, and higher repetitions. So you're rotating it, okay? It doesn't have to be 2 weeks. You can also listen to your body because everyone's lifestyle is different, okay? Say for an example, you didn't eat the day before and you're exhausted. You had a busy day. You've been running around all day. Now it's leg day. You're like, I am so tired. My energy is done. If you have a program and you're like, I have to lift heavy today, you probably won't end up working out. You'll be like, I'm too tired to do that kind of training. So you know what? I'm not going to work out today. Instead, you say, you know what? I didn't eat that good today. My body's really tired. I need to recover. So you know what? I still have my today's training. It's not my day off. I'm going to go and I'm going to do lighter weight and I'm going to do higher reps. 15, 20 reps. Maybe you can also do high intensity interval training or something explosive body weight, but it's not going to be your heavy day lifting. So it doesn't need to be an exact strategy that you have to follow because everyone's lifestyle is different. So just to generally speak for the population is to understand how to approach it. So overall, we want to have the program to be progressive overload. So it's always keeping in mind going heavier, creating that tension, creating that damage to the muscle when it comes to the kind of training, and then rotating throughout my training program on the days that I need to go lighter and then do body weight or explosive workouts, because explosivity workouts will also help increase your strength, which will ultimately help you to be able to lift heavier in your workouts. So that's why some days I like to go and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do jumping squats, jumping lunges, box squats, stuff like that, because that improves my overall strength. So when I come back and I lift, it's like my body can take on more load, okay? And then on your slow rep, on your lighter days, you can focus on even slower movement, for an example, or maybe more faster movement. You just rotate throughout it as long as you're incorporating that progressive overload entirely throughout the program, okay? Now, the next point I want to bring up is your rep range. How many repetitions should you be doing, okay? Now, the most important thing to keep in mind is what's called time under tension. Because I could say, okay, do 15 repetitions for every exercise. But your 15 repetitions are super fast and not controlled. And you're not really focusing on the contraction, but you're just doing the movement. For an example, I could be like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Or I could be like 1, 2, and you see I'm putting resistance. I'm putting the tension on it as well with the weight. So I'm really focusing on me coming down and coming up. So you don't want to just do the movement as you come up and relax the muscle as you come down. You want to create that tension while it's coming down too. Why? Because the goal, in order to build muscle, we want to pump the blood in the muscle as much as we can without it relaxing, okay? And what I mean by that is we want to restrict the blood flow. Because when you restrict the blood flow and you keep that blood in there, you're not relaxing it in between repetition, it creates what's called a hypoxic environment. Hypoxic means basically restricting oxygen from the muscle. But that helps the muscles to be more efficient. And it creates an anabolic response in the muscle. And what I mean by anabolic response, so we are either in an anabolic state or a catabolic state. To keep it simple, anabolic is building. Catabolic is breaking down. So if you're trying to focus on building muscle, then we need to do things that are going to support the anabolic state of the body. So whenever we do that, that's what helps increase the anabolic state. And also, whenever we're doing time under tension, it also recruits other different muscles within the body, which will increase our metabolic rate. The more muscle we have, the more we're going to be burning throughout the day, right? It also helps increase what's called protein synthesis, and different kind of proteins as well. But to keep it simple, it increases the protein synthesis. So we want our body to be able to break down protein properly, efficiently, in order to support the damaged muscle so that muscle can repair and grow, okay? So we want to keep that time under tension between 30 to, let's say, 60 seconds, okay? Just to have that range. Anything under 30 seconds, if you do 10 seconds or 20 seconds, like 1 to 5 reps, this is not supporting the muscle growth, what's called hypertrophy. Hypertrophy means growing the muscle. Now, you can rotate your program and have some days like this, some days like that, and support muscle growth. But if you only focus on 10 to 20 seconds every single time you train, it's not going to support muscle growth. You know what I mean? So that's why that's more like power, more strength, trying to see how much you can lift, within 2 or 3 repetitions. But that's not our goal. Our goal is what can we do to support the anabolic state of the body so that the muscle can grow, okay? So that will range around 8 to 12 repetitions if you're doing it like 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up. You know what I mean? So time yourself. It all depends. Are you going 3 seconds down? Are you going 1 second down? It will all depend on the time the muscle is under tension, okay? I don't want to kill you guys with this time under tension thing, okay? Now, what else do I want to bring up when it's combined with the training? Yeah, because there's so many different points to bring up, But it's like, I just want to speak generally for you so you guys kind of understand the concept to know how to approach it according to your lifestyle, okay? Because you might hear other people saying different things. And what's important is that we understand that it's not as easy as it seems sometimes, because we have many different kind of stressors. We have the mechanical stress. How much load are you putting on the muscle? We have the metabolic stress, you know, the stress on the cellular level. And then we have the muscle stress, like how much are you actually tearing the fiber apart? And then what are you doing to support that growth as well? So we have all of these different stressors that we have to focus on. So everything that I tell you is generally speaking to give you an idea on how to approach it according to your own lifestyle, okay? That's why it's important whenever we're trying to focus on the anabolic state, the most important thing supporting your training is going to be your diet and your recovery. Because if you're not going to do that, it's not going to support the muscle to repair and grow. So your diet. How do you know, okay, how do I know which diet to follow? Now, when it comes to muscle growth, we want to make sure that we support our diet through the carbohydrates, the protein, and the fat. Now, we just need to know how much of those. Now, to keep it simple, now let's focus on the protein aspect, because we need to be able to have enough protein to support the cells to repair, right? The muscle to repair itself. We need what's called nitrogen balance. So in order to know that you're having enough protein, to keep it super simple, let's pay attention to your body weight in pounds, not kilo. For protein, let's focus on pounds. So let's say you weigh 150 pounds. You want to be able to eat 150 grams of protein. So that's 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you weigh 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein. And what I mean by grams of protein, I don't mean how much the food weighs on the scale. I mean how much protein is in that food. Now you're probably thinking, how am I going to know what protein is in the food? Now there are different applications that you can use that calculate that for you. And they're super easy. You have MyFitnessPal, okay? And you don't have to be on these apps forever. You could just be on it for a week or 2 weeks just to understand how much am I eating right now? And how much are portions? I don't even know how much 200 grams of chicken weighs. I don't even know how much protein is inside one chicken breast. So when you just apply every day and you look and you put the foods in there and it tells you and it shows you, okay, you just choose. Or you can even scan your own food. The barcode in the back, you scan it, you add the food. And I did a video explaining exactly how to use the app. So if you're interested, just comment on the video below and tell me, Dina, can you send me this video so I know how to use the app exactly? But it's super easy. Of course, whenever we do anything new, we need to be able to learn a couple of things, and it might be a little challenging the first couple of times. But after a couple days, you'll understand everything and it's going to be so easy. And I don't tell people you have to calculate all your calories and your macros. No, you don't have to. But if you're really looking to transform your body, it's really going to help you, because then you're going to understand whenever you travel, whenever you're on vacation, whenever you're at a restaurant, you're going to know exactly what you should eat throughout that day in order to support your goals. If it's weight loss, if it's weight gain, if it's muscle growth, all that stuff. So I think it's important to be able to put some effort to understand about it so that you never have to question anything ever again. Now, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates fill up our muscle to support muscle growth and to support the energy that it gives us to work out. So whenever you're low on carbs, you have low energy to train really hard. So don't be afraid of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are good for us when we're eating healthy carbs and we're not eating our carbohydrates from processed foods and sugars every day, fast sugars. We want to eat like sweet potato, quinoa, beans, lentils. All of these things are healthy for our body and will support the body to grow and give us energy. So let's say you eat you eat carbohydrates twice a day. Morning, you have your oatmeal with your eggs. Afternoon, you have your sweet potato with your chicken, for an example, okay, to keep it simple. For the morning, generally speaking for everyone, 50 grams uncooked would be a good amount to start with. And then your sweet potato will be around 100 to 200 grams of sweet potato, depending on how much muscle you have, how tall you are, and how much training that you're doing. So I can't tell you exactly how much. You can go and calculate how much to eat every single day according to your body weight, the activity that you do. But in order to keep it simple, in order to go through all of that, you could say, okay, I'll have my 50 grams of oats in the morning. Afternoon, I'll have 100 grams of sweet potato, and then I'm gonna weigh myself every week. And I'm gonna see and look at my body and take pictures and take measurements and measure my body fat. And I'm gonna see, am I gaining muscle? Am I gaining size? If not, and you're still super lean, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna slowly add more carbohydrates to your food. You don't want to add it all at once. You want your body to slowly adapt as your training is getting harder so that you're supporting the muscle and you're not going to store the excess carbohydrates as fat. So the more muscle you have, the more you can get away with carbohydrates. So you say, you know what? Every week I'll add 20 grams of oats. Okay, a little bit of more protein, a little bit of more sweet potato, and gradually do it as I weigh myself every week and track my progress to see what is a good amount of food where it keeps me in a good state to support my muscle growth, yet not store around the stomach area, okay? Now another part that I want to bring up, the fats. So now you say twice a day you have your carbohydrates every single day, and then you can increase it or decrease it according to how your progress is coming as you're tracking it. Now the fats, we don't want to have too much fats when we're focusing on muscle growth. We'll rather support the muscle growth through the carbohydrates and protein, okay? The fats, we want to keep them low. We don't want to keep them crucially low because it's very important for our brain function, for our hormones, our nervous system, everything. So around 20% of your macronutrients you can have as your fats, or you can calculate as the maximum that you should have should be 1 gram of fat per kilogram of body weight. So for the protein is 1 gram of protein per body weight of pounds. But now 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. So if you weigh 60 kilo, then 60 grams of fat a day is your maximum, okay? Now, whenever you're starting any kind of diet, the first and most important thing to do is understand, how much am I eating? How much am I actually even eating right now? Just to understand, well, how much? Am I eating 4,000? Am I eating 2,000? Am I eating 3,000? So if you're gonna start eating cleaner now, what are you gonna do? You wanna stick around the same calories, even if you're trying to lose weight or gain. And now you stick around those calories so there's no drastic changes. If you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to jump from 4,000 to 1,500. You want to gradually switch out your foods, healthier options. The calories will naturally reduce because you're eating healthier options. So you can't eat so much when you're eating healthy. Well, you can, but just not as much when you're eating processed foods. So you want to just stay within the range and then add just as you go. Because when there's drastic changes all at once, if you drastically increase your calories, you'll store it in your stomach. Okay, then you'll be like, why again in my stomach and not all around? If you drastically decrease, your body will start to go crazy. You'll start to crave sugar and processed foods because your body's not used to decreasing low energy, low calorie like that all at once, okay? So that's why we always want to make the body to adapt when it comes to these things. Now, there was another important point that I wanted to bring up, but then I continue talking about the diet. Let me think. I should have put notes, but it's okay, it's okay. Okay, so we said the training progressive overload. We talked about rotating repetitions and workouts according to how you feel, how your energy feels, but making sure that your program is based on progressive overload. Time under tension between 30 to 60 seconds, making sure that you're focusing on the motion as you're coming down, making sure that you're not relaxing the muscles in between repetitions. For muscle growth, making sure that you're eating enough calories that is over the amount of energy that you're burning every day, okay? If you're eating too little, your muscles will not grow. So you need to make sure that you're on a calorie surplus, making sure that you're eating more than what you're burning. That's why it's important to understand how much you're eating, okay? You also want to make sure that you're supporting your body, your recovery. So another point, that's what I wanted to bring up, okay? So say for an example, whenever you train legs or any muscle that you're training right now, protein synthesis starts to decrease after 3 days, okay? So what does that mean? Whenever we train a muscle, we want to make sure that we come back and target that same muscle group after 3 days because we want to keep the protein synthesis high. We want our body to be able to synthesize protein properly to support the muscle growth, to preserve the muscle and support the muscle growth, okay? So that you don't want to also train the same muscle group every day because I see girls are like, okay, I train legs every day or 3 days in a row. We don't want to do that because you need your body to recover. If you're damaging the muscle, or even if you're able to train the next day, the same muscle, you didn't train hard enough. You need to train so hard that you need 3 days to recover for that muscle. That's how you know that you're really putting that load and stress onto the muscle. So say for an example, you train legs, you want to be able to activate those muscles after 3 days. You train chest, you want to be able to activate those muscles after 3 days. So what you do is, to keep it simple, let's say you do shoulders, okay, you do chest and triceps, and then you do legs. Now you can come back and you can do shoulders, for an example, so that you're keeping it within the 3 days, and then you do legs after that. For an example, I'm kind of being confused right now. I don't want to confuse you guys because there's so many ways that we can apply this. So what I like to do is I do what's called push-pull legs. Push-pull legs is push. Everything with push is chest, shoulders, triceps. Pull is back and biceps. And then you have legs. I do legs twice a week. I focus on different areas of the legs. For the legs, you have one day you focus on quads and your butt. Another day you focus on the back of the legs and the butt. Okay? And then I'll alternate between push and pull. Sometimes I'll do push and then pull legs, and then I'll come back and do arms, for an example. So it doesn't always have to be push, pull legs, but it's to understand that when you do push, pull legs, and if you train 6 days a week, you're activating all of those muscles twice a week. Now, there are different ways that you can incorporate this. You could do full body movements, high intensity within the same workout, so you're always activating the muscles. For an example, I do pull-ups and dips every single day. So I'm not doing a full back workout, but I'm activating those muscles to be able to support protein synthesis. You know what I mean? And then I'll do high intensity exercises within the program, like lateral side throughs, burpees, planks, side planks. All these things are activating different parts of the muscle. So you don't have to necessarily do a full workout routine to keep the muscles activated. You could just incorporate certain exercises within your week to keep the other muscles that you're not training activated. So hopefully that was simple to understand. I don't want to confuse you guys. I know sometimes I can go on a rant and go from one thing to the other, but it's just because all of them are connected, and I just want to explain as much as I can within that video. But I'm going to make more videos, if you want, breaking down specific topics within this topic, if you want. So let me know if you made it this far in the video. I probably lost your attention already. But if there's a specific thing you're like, okay, Dina, can you dive a little bit deeper into this topic and just do a video just about that? Because I'm learning as I'm going. I'm learning how to approach these videos. How short should I make them? How long should I make them? How many things should I talk about in a video? So your feedback means everything to me, because I'm doing this for you, and I want you to be able to watch the entire thing and actually learn from it, and not just watch a video and then you forget. So your feedback means everything, okay? So we want to come back to the topic: recovery. You're sleeping, you're drinking your water, your supplements. All of these things are going to support your muscle growth, because it's so much stress on the body. We want to be able to support the body. We don't want to, stress is good, but we want to be able to balance it out with everything else that will support the body to repair. So making sure that you're hydrating. Your muscles, they shrink whenever we train really hard. So we want to be able to support that. Drink that water as much as you can. Flush everything out of your body. Flush all that fat. You want to be lean and gain muscle, yeah? And how does the fat leave the body? Through your urine, through your breathing, through your sweating. So we want to support all of that. Do the cardio, go to the sauna, drink a lot of water, flush everything out, support the digestive system. Making sure that you're sleeping, because when you're sleeping, all these different hormones, they come out at night and they start to repair the muscle. So if you're not getting good deep sleep and you're on your phone right before you go to bed for a long time and your brain is working and you're not getting a proper deep sleep, that's why maybe you're waking up, you feel tired, you feel lethargic, your training is not powerful, because you're not focusing on everything else that's going to support it. So your mindset, staying positive, watching things that are going to support your mindset to be in a positive state, because you don't want to be down and, thinking negative, watching things that are going to bring your energy down, because it's energy draining. Hanging out with people that are negative, watching things that are sad on the news, doing all of these things, watching things on social media that is going to drain your energy. This is also going to be draining your energy. So if you're someone where you're like, I can't train heavy, I can't lift heavy, my body can't take it, what else is happening in your lifestyle that is not supporting your recovery? because that is what's ultimately going to help you have more energy so that you can focus on progressive overload. So every time you go do your workout, you're full power and you give it all that you got so you can benefit from every single exercise, because every exercise makes a big difference. Every week you can progress. Every week you can come in stronger than you were the week before. But that will all be determined on how you're focusing on everything else that's happening in your lifestyle. Again, as well as supplements. So supplements needs another video because I talk too much in this video. So I'm not going to break down supplements in this video. I was, but then it's going to be way too long. So I'll just do a separate video and I'll call it Supplements for Muscle Growth and Recovery as well. Okay? Because this one is going to require more detail to understand exactly what's the most important one, how much to take, and all that stuff. Because if you're always feeling sore, always feeling tired, then you'll probably need some supplements to be able to support your body to recover. And healthy supplements, okay? Supplements that your body can take that is going to support that we all naturally occurring in the body, but will also help you to recover faster and keep that energy up, okay? I hope this video was helpful. I hope I didn't confuse you in any way. But if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. Give me your feedback so I can make these videos much better for you, okay? I love you guys, and I'm going to see you in the next video.